Hello and welcome to Everyday Linux User. In today's video we are looking at openSUSE KDE edition. Now the weird thing about openSUSE is somebody's decided that this wallpaper is good and it's very in your face and it's very bright. So the first thing I like to do is change that wallpaper out. So the great thing about KDE, it makes it nice and easy. Right click, desktop and wallpaper, and you can pick of any of the ones that are there. Now this one I installed myself, I installed this one, but today we're going to go for this one just to keep it nice and straightforward. So with openSUSE KDE, you get a lot of the same setup things that you need to do that you have to do with the GNOME edition. But let's get started with the hardware first. So down here we got the Wi-Fi. And so you can connect to your Wi-Fi just by clicking on the Wi-Fi network and entering your password. We've got Bluetooth. Bluetooth mode. Click there, pair device, and you can see that has failed. We're going to restart it, see if it works a second time. Connecting. And you can see that connected on the second attempt. The next thing we're going to look at is printing. So we're going to add a printer. Ask for your password. And you're going to have the same problem with printing with openSUSE that you have with the GNOME version of openSUSE, and that's a permissions issue. So the problem is that when you set up openSUSE, you don't have to set a root password, but the printer is looking for a root password. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to counts. We're going to go to root. We're going to set the password. And now you can see it's found my printer. And then we have the printer set up. So as you can see, things in openSUSE aren't perfect. It's definitely security driven, but some of the security settings don't make sense with the actual setup. So let's look at what software comes installed with openSUSE. We've got a text editor, mainly KDE standard tools. LibreOffice is installed by default. We've got a few games and a scanning tool. Internet, we've got Firefox and more KDE centric tools. So we have Kmail for email, conversation IRC client, the multimedia, OBS I installed. VLC comes as part of it, which is a good media player. And that's about it. And we've got the Dolphin file manager. And the most important piece of software on the system is called Discover. Now, the great thing about the KDE version of openSUSE is if you want to set up flatpaks, it's really easy to do it. Go to settings. And you see I've already done it, but up here it has add FlatHub, and all you have to do is click add FlatHub and it appears, and as long as that's ticked you can then search for software that you need. So if you need things that aren't in the normal version of openSUSE, such as Chrome or Steam or things like that, then you can now install them as flatpaks. Now updates you can do by the command line or you can do via KDE, and you just have to click there and then click the update button. You can see I'm on GNOME 49 and I've got a few updates that need to be installed. Now, as with the GNOME version, there are things you need to do, like for instance, if you want to watch videos, you want to install the multimedia codecs. So we're going to go back to here and we're going to go to terminal and we're going to type sudo zipper install OPI. Now OPI is one of the best pieces of software that you can install with openSUSE. And you can see it, I've already got installed. Now what does OPI give you? OPI gives you access to, it's a bit like the AUR within Arch. It gives you, basically you search for better software and it gives you all the places where you can get that software from. So if I want to install codecs, all I have to do is OPI codecs. And it says, do you want to install codecs from the Pacman repository? And the good thing about this is if you haven't got Pacman set up, it will add the repository for you. So this is really the first step I would do when installing openSUSE, is install OPI and then install the codecs. And then it's just a case of answering the questions. And that's as simple as that. And the next thing you probably want to do is install some nice fonts. So let's clear the screen. OPI font. Now this is very similar to the GNOME version we did previously. And you'll see number 21 is fetch MSTT fonts. So we're going to type 21. And this will give you fonts like Arial, Verdana and stuff like that. And it asks you where you want to install it. I'm going to pick the first one. And then I'm just going to answer yes to all their questions. And you can see it's gradually installing fonts like Arial, Comic Sans, Courier. And that's it. You've now got Microsoft fonts. So if I go into LibreOffice, you can see we've got all these fonts here now. This panel here, this whole cockpit thing enables you to manage most parts of your system. So you can manage your firewall. You've seen me manage my accounts. You've got all your services that you can start and stop. If you want to install packages, you can install them from here. Obviously, there's the Discover tool with KDE as well, so we can use the KDE tool for finding packages, but you can find them here as well. But that's the cockpit tool. Now, this is KDE, so it would be wrong not to mention the features of KDE. Now, this version of KDE is more difficult to customize these toolbars than it was previously. It's not terrible, but it's a little bit more quirky than it was before. So for instance, if I want to add in another panel, I go to panel configuration and I click add new. There's no actual way of creating a new panel, it's just clone a panel. Unless you go up here. So instead of having the panel, I feel like there should be an add panel here. If I want to add a panel, I can do that. And now we can add widgets to that panel. So if you want a dashboard style, you can just drag it into where you want it to go, like that. And say you want a calendar up there. And you can put spaces in. You can search for the things you want, panel spacer, and we drag that in there like that. And now the calendar goes to the right hand side. So that's how you add panels and things like that in. We can remove a panel. Like that. But that's how you customize your panel. You can add your panels up here. You can add manage widgets to the panels. And if you want to move someone around on a panel, this is the odd thing. Say I want to move that one there. This is where it's a bit fiddly. If I want to move a panel icon, you kind of have to hover over it. There, and you get this little crosshair, then you can move it around like that. But trying to get the little crosshair to appear is a little bit tricky. Now, theming is easy enough. If we go here and we type theme, you've got this global theme option. And you can choose a global theme like this, and you should be able to get a new one if you want to, just by clicking this button up here. It's different from GNOME. GNOME, you have to go and search for the theme and install it, and you have to use the extensions to install it. Whereas for KDE, you can just do get new. So this one here that I installed for GNOME, I can just install here. You can see how openSUSE is very security focused, which is a good thing. And if I want to use it, I just click use. Oh, and that's come up with a failure. But when I clicked apply there, it's now gone and done it. And you see my windows are now got the Apple style icons. So you've seen how to set up hardware, I've shown you the applications, I've shown you how to customize KDE to a certain extent, and I've shown you how to install and set up Discover for installing software. And that's pretty much it. Now, the KDE version is good, and it's better for people who come from a traditional Windows background. Now, openSUSE itself isn't for the absolute beginner. It's for probably computer users that are familiar with computers. So for absolute beginners, I'd recommend something like Linux Mint or Zorin or something like that, because it's very easy to set up your hardware, software, etc. But openSUSE gives added security, and it's probably better for power users or people that have a decent amount of computing experience. Do I hate openSUSE? No, I don't hate it. I did used to not like it very much. I didn't understand it, but the more I get used to it, the better I feel about it. Are there quirks? Yes, there are quirks, but there aren't many systems that don't have quirks. And that is the end of the video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time on Everyday Linux User.